right, good evening to you, everybody. It is now Wednesday evening. What day is it? It's Wednesday. All right, all these days blending together. I'm meteorologist Matt Wintz. Thanks for joining me here tonight. We've got lake effect snow that's ongoing across portions of northwest Indiana. It all started with that squall that we had this morning, and then things changed. Obviously, we had some lake effect that targeted Lake County for a good portion of the morning. Then things kind of backed off. We've seen general snow shower activities. We've gone throughout the day. Roads, though, were a mess after that initial squall. I mentioned this morning in our live broadcast that we laid down that foundation where we still had warm surface temperatures in terms of what the road was doing. Road was still at 36, 35 degrees. The heavy snow fell on top of it and created a layer of ice, especially as cars kind of packed on top of that. And then it melted on the bottom part of it. But now temps have come down, so that melting has turned to ice. And so we've got some really messy roads outside, despite the fact we haven't seen a ton of snow this afternoon. But either way, it's a mess outside, depending on where you are. Salted roads and roads that have been plowed down to that surface level are okay. But overall, things are going to go downhill, especially out towards the east here tonight. So I want to cover exactly what we've got going on. In terms of all of that, we'll say hi to our early birds and we'll get on with our show here. As always, want to thank our wonderful sponsors. They're all local here in Northwest Indiana. We've got one sponsor in every trade. All right, we're exclusive like that. So we've got someone to cover you in anything that you possibly need. Earl's Heating and Air Conditioning. If you guys need anything related to furnace, earlsheating.com is the place to go. They've been doing that since 1976, providing great customer service to Northwest Indiana. Publicserviceadjusting.com, the place to go if you have an insurance claim. They come out. Don't call your insurance company first. Call them. They'll come out, document it, submit the claim to your insurance company, and they'll deal with your insurance company so you don't have to. They'll get you more money as well. Publicserviceadjusting.com. Romansroofing.net if you need anything done with your roof. Maybe you've got a leak. If you have windows, gutters, siding that needs replaced as well, they can certainly do that. They do it all. They'll make sure your home is locked in tight. Romansroofing.net. Halcyon Water Solutions provides the highest quality water treatment with exceptional service here in Northwest Indiana. They take care of your water. Basically, you may not know what you're drinking, and they'll do a water test. They'll come out for free. Call 866-97-WATER to get on the schedule for them to come on out. Minogue.life, that's Michael Minogue, in our world of life insurance, Medicare, Medicaid. He knows his stuff. There are new changes that took place starting this year. Make sure you are in tune with what your plan has, what you get out of it, maybe what you're not getting out of it. If you want to talk life insurance, you can do that too. Minogue.life. Kate Cusack for Ruoff Mortgage. She's our home lender. For all your mortgage needs, go to her. She'll take care of you. She's awesome. She did a live shot last winter. We're going to get her on board this winter as well. Kate Cusack, Home Loan Girl, the place to go there. If you need a plumber, tigerplumbing.net. If you need a pole barn constructed or renovated, commercial, residential, they've done over 20,000 of them, FBIbuildings.com. TNT Tree Service for all your tree needs. If you need a tree taken care of, or maybe you've got one that fell in the backyard that you haven't taken care of for a while, they'll clean it up for you. TTTreeservice.com. And Greekers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Valparaiso. They've been serving Northwest Indiana for decades. They're awesome. If you need a four-wheel drive vehicle, they will hook you up. All right, let's talk to our early birds. We have Angel on board. Good evening, Angel. Andrew's excited. He says, I'm first. And Andrew, I like your comment. I think this will sum up kind of where we're going today. Lake effect snow is crazy. It is crazy. And I don't think I would forecast anywhere other than a lake effect zone. I mean, if I had to move markets or something like that, I would miss the lake effect. It is so exciting. It's so challenging. And that's the reason why I got into meteorology as a kid. I grew up in Northeast Ohio where we had lake effect, and I didn't understand why we would have a foot of snow and then down the street they wouldn't have anything. And that has always piqued my interest from day one. And that's kind of where we are today, still forecasting lake effect. So there's that. All right, we've got JP with us as well. Vicky says, hello, give us good news. Gail, hello for you as well. Mary's with us, just a dusting in Cherville, she says, and that's kind of how it's been. We haven't seen big amounts in some spots. Others have seen some pretty decent totals already. It's just getting going. JD's here as well. 2 inches enough for me to plow. There you go, Cindy. Ann, thanks for being with us. Appreciate that. Rich says whiteout conditions. Wind is blowing like crazy across the road from the farm fields between Stark and LaPorte counties. Take it easy. That is where the mess is. We had some thunder snow earlier, Maxwell. Absolutely. Donna, absolutely will. Jacqueline's with us. And Amanda, hello. Got caught driving in that snow squall. All right, let's dive into the broadcast, shall we? Here's our radar setup right now. All right, this is our Doppler radar. We've got obviously green is snow in this case. What you notice are a couple things. Okay, I mentioned this in our earlier afternoon update, how our lake effect snow would be winding down in Lake and Porter County for now. You can see the end of it. Here's the moisture out over the lake. See how it's kind of coming to an end where we have dry air coming in from the north. What this is going to do, we've got maybe another hour of snow showers, which we've had in Lake and Porter counties. This is getting into northern Newton and Jasper County. All right, we've had general snow shower activity for you. Problem is, roads were a mess from the squalls, so we've kind of added to that, right? A lot of the main thoroughfares are okay. That snow is going to wind down a little bit here once we get beyond I would say the 7:30 time frame Central Time. And what we'll see, we may still have some snow showers, but that's really going to back off. And I don't see a lot of snow for you in Lake County once we get beyond 7:30. Okay, Porter County gets interesting, and here's where it gets interesting. Here's our mega band that is developed. This is putting down some snow. All right, this is the one we were talking about that we need to watch. Areas where this snow persists and sticks are going to get buried. They're going to get buried from this. We're already seeing that in Berrien County and St. Joe out towards St. Joseph County out towards South Bend. All right, real heavy stuff. We have kind of the secondary band. Notice how it's still coming down heavy in areas of eastern LaPorte County, Stark County, like Rich was saying. You've got snow, but it gets so much heavier just east of you. The snow has been falling pretty good, though, in LaPorte County. You're starting to get some of the higher totals already. This does advance down into Stark County and Marshall County as well, okay? But it's this band right here that we're going to watch as we go throughout the rest of the evening, the overnight, into the day tomorrow. We're going to watch that band with a little northward switch to the wind briefly. That band's going to come into areas of LaPorte County. I think we're going to start to see some heavier snow, especially eastern side of the county first, and then it may make it over to central LaPorte County. And because it's so wide, we may have some influences in Porter County as well. Stark County, you're going to get into this action as well. We noticed that warning got issued earlier, right? The National Weather Service extended it further south. This is the band to watch, and this will take over as the main show as we go throughout the rest of the evening. All right, how about roads? Here's current look at NDOT right now. Here's Northwest Indiana, just to get your bearings straight. Valpo right in the center there. A lot of yellow and red on there. Okay, it's slow go. US 30 is snow covered. We've got slow traffic here as we get into rush hour here. Side roads, country roads are a mess right now, especially with that wind blowing. Temperatures coming down. Salt is becoming less effective. It's still effective, but not as effective as it was as we were in the upper 20s and low 30s, obviously. You notice 80, 94 is okay right now. It's moving around pretty well. As you get up towards areas like Wanata, and then as you get up into Westville, 421 not doing too well. That's pretty snowy as well. But I want to put things into perspective. 65 is okay as well. A little slowdown as you approach the Borman, but overall, that is mainly due to the fact that there's just traffic at this hour, okay? Couple live shots. I mean, you can look at the cams here, and you can see, yeah, we're fine on 65. There are some icy spots in the berm, so be careful, but there's not a lot of snow falling in that case, okay? What I do want to show you, though, in terms of this, is what's happening out towards South Bend, all right, and then in Berrien County. It's a mess, all right? We've got, it looks like now the toll road is closed in one direction due to all the snow. I mean, it is a mess where this mega band is hitting right now. That starts up near the St. Joe area in Michigan, all the way down towards New Buffalo. That stretch of 94 is a mess, and that includes areas like Buchanan, getting up into Eau Claire, and then down into Notre Dame and South Bend. That whole area is a mess right now. I mean, slow traffic. The snow's coming down so heavy. Let's see if we can get some plow cams going here. You can see, I mean, you can look at all the plow cams around these areas. It's pretty awesome. I don't see anything too crazy. So here's a shot right now in South Bend area. I mean, low visibility, it's just constant. That's the thing. And you got gusty wind on top of it. Roads don't look too bad. I mean, there's snow cover on there. There's not like 6 or 7 inches on there yet, but it's just messy as you get over there, all right? That's the weather that we're going to watch slowly translate west as we go throughout the rest of the evening. So let's take you through the modeling. These are the latest model runs now. I want to take you through it. I think the HER has a good idea. I'm going to show you some crazy numbers in a second. I don't think it has a good idea in terms of that. I think it has a good idea of placement of these bands. All right, I combed through all the high-res models that we have. I'm only showing you what I agree with, all right? And this is the HER, and it has the general snow shower activity now, but watch over the next couple hours how it becomes more so just this main band with decreasing snow rates as you get outside of that. All right, so Lake County starts to quiet down. You'll still have some flurries and snow showers, but the bulk of it's going to be in Porter County, then especially LaPorte County down towards Stark County as we head into the overnight. So this is around midnight. We've got a real decent band. Notice how it's gone from South Bend and it's kind of heading back towards the west. Or you look at initial placement, and the initial placement's good on that over South Bend. And watch how that band kind of waffles west. See that little trajectory where it heads west right there? All right, that is a big difference. I mean, that's the difference between a foot and no snow. That little waffle, that little wobble in that band. And so that'll come in areas of LaPorte County tonight. Kids in LaPorte County, I'm going to doubt you have school tomorrow morning, all right? You want to flush the ice cubes down the toilet and wear the PJs inside out. That's obviously what you have to do to make it happen. But as long as you do that, we look okay. I'm telling you, it's going to be real snowy tomorrow morning, especially the further east you get. Porter County's still on that borderline. It has been since our forecast on Monday, where there's going to be split, where it just depends on how wide that band is and how far west it makes it. There is going to be some westward jog with that, though. So I do expect Porter County, your snowfall rates will come down as that lake effect kind of ends, that little thing I was talking about right now that's been with us all day with the snow showers, and then it'll pick back up as that band comes in overnight. That's, again, what I'm thinking. That band will continue to sit over LaPorte County through the morning tomorrow. It'll eventually start to head out towards the east as we usher in this clipper system from the northwest. Overall, it's going to add up. All right, whoever gets stuck under that main band, we're talking 2-3 inches per hour, not out of the question. Thunder snow as well. I mean, it's organized and it's collecting moisture from the lake of Lake Michigan. So lots of cold air dynamics up above it as well. I mean, there's a lot going towards this, and it's already producing some heavy snow, as we can see here on the radar. All right, so this band will start to slowly jog out towards the west as we go throughout the evening hours. So LaPorte County, that snow will get heavier and heavier as we go into the evening and to overnight. All right, that's what I'm expecting. So how much? I just want to show this to you. Let me show you this one first. I don't agree with this. This is just crazy, but you can't rule it out. You just can't rule it out. This is the HER, all right? I agree with the placement of it. Look at these numbers, all right? There are no numbers where it's like the bright peach color, okay? We've got 7 in Valpo, says the HER. And again, I don't agree with this. Look at some of these numbers in the heart of this. 30 to 40 inches is what the HER is saying. And this is not a forecast that's days out. This is a forecast that's the next 8 to 10 hours, okay? 30 to 40 inches where that band settles. I agree we're going to have some much higher totals where that band settles. But 30 to 40, this is crazy on the modeling. I can't say this is false, all right? In my experience and in my forecasting experience, I'm not going to go that high. But I just want to show you what the latest HER is saying in terms of snowfall totals. And that is, here's Porter County here, where you're divided between 2 and 10, between west and east. But then it just buries LaPorte County, all right? It buries Stark County as well. That's the HER. I just want to show that to you. The HER is usually pretty reliable. What does Matt agree with? Doesn't mean it's right. I agree with the National Blended Models. I like it. I've liked it since this event started. There you go, where it's got not a lot for Lake County, not a lot for Newton County, not much for Jasper. And then you get into Porter County, where you go from not much in the west side to maybe 6 inches. Valpo, you'd probably fall in the, 3 to 6 inch range out of that. Could be 3, not much, right? Could be 6. And then you get into the meat and potatoes of that band, and it's picking up on a foot to 15, 16 inches. I could see that, all right? The 30 to 40, not sure I'm going to buy that. Could we have a 20-plus inch total somewhere where that band settles and they just get lucky? Sure, but this is some crazy stuff, right? This is not too crazy. I think this is more realistic, but this is nuts, all right? And it's showing up in the modeling right now, and so I can't argue against it because it's picking up on something, but overall, I kind of agree with this in terms of how much snow we're going to get from here on out. I do think LaPorte County gets buried. As long as that band comes in, we're going to get buried in terms of some of the snow with this, okay? It'll wind down pretty quickly again throughout the day tomorrow, but that morning rush hour is going to be a mess. If you've got travel plans east into LaPorte County, let's say you live in Lake County, you're traveling to LaPorte County, you're trying to get up into Michigan, it's going to be real messy overnight into tomorrow, like dangerously messy, okay? We don't mess around when snowfall rates are coming down 2-3+ inches an hour, all right? So that's what we're thinking for tonight. Let's talk about the cold real quick, and then I'll go back to the snow. Then we'll answer your questions until we'll go here on our Wednesday evening. The cold is here. Temps are coming down. What I'm going to show you here, I assume you can see the numbers. And if you can't see the numbers, expand your screen so you can. And if not, I'll just tell you. These are your wind chill values, okay? That's the number in my mind that truly matters. We can talk temps, but it matters if the wind's blowing as well. So wind chill values tonight are going to come down below 0 at times. They will likely stay warmer where that snow band is because it keeps temperatures up. It's like insulation almost to the atmosphere. But either way, cold tonight, you know that. Tomorrow morning, wind chills anywhere between 0 and 5. We can manage that. That's really cold, sure, but it's January, so we can expect that. By afternoon, wind chill values getting up into the teens and low single digits. So manageable cold tomorrow. Cold but manageable. Then we get a couple more shots this weekend. Friday warms up. All right, we'll have wind chill values in the 20s, temps in the 30s. That's out ahead of another band of snow that will come in with a clipper system. This is clipper 1 of like 400. Okay. So wind chill values come up. Friday's not bad. It's going to be a manageable brand of cold as well. But then we get this shot into the weekend. So Saturday temps come down. Wind chill values will as well. Wind chills in the single digits, not bad yet. Here we go. Sunday, we get our first shot of cold. Wind chill values between -10 and 0 Sunday. Sunday's going to be cold, cold, cold. And then we get this bigger shot Monday into Tuesday. Wind chill values go down between -20 and -10. All right. Monday, we're not going to mess around with this cold. There's not going to be a ton of snow with this. We will have some snow around. I'll take you through that here in a second. But the wind chill values, I mean, you don't mess around once it gets that cold around here. Tuesday, they kind of stay that way. We'll start to moderate Tuesday afternoon as warmer air tries to get in. Then we get another shot as we go into the following weekend into the next week. There's Sunday into Monday, perhaps. Real cold stuff. I mean, -50 wind chills just north of us. We'll see how far south that where makes it. And then look at this, another shot as we get into the latter half of next week. It's relentless. We talked about that potential on our broadcast Sunday night. Here's your look at temperatures. Remember, these flop all over the place, especially day 10 and beyond, but it's nice to see a trend. Temps cold the next couple days, but it's January. That's expected. Here's where it gets a little more cold for January on Tuesday next week. Remember, wind chills are a lot colder than that, and then perhaps some big shots of cold air. Euro's been hinting at that in the 15-day range. High of -9 on the 29th. We'll see. It said that for the 26th a couple days ago. They tend to kind of correct themselves and come up. But either way, some cold air on the way. So the snow that we have, the snow that we're getting here tonight is going to stick around. How much more snow are we going to add? Big picture across the area. Here comes our clipper tomorrow. The lake effect will end because of that clipper moving in. It'll kind of shift our winds to the southwest. So by tomorrow night into Friday morning, we're dealing with more snow. This is going to be Alberta clipper snow. What is that, you ask? It's got cold air with it. There's not a ton of accumulation. These usually bring a quick 1 to 2 inches, sometimes 3 if they're more organized, but just a steady area-wide snow. It'll get slick, though. I mean, we're not looking at easy travel with 1 to 3 inches. It tends to produce some problems. So snow comes in Thursday night. That Friday morning commute may have some snowy travel. Not a ton of snow from this, not nearly what we're seeing with the lake effect, but we'll have some snow with that. Colder air comes in Saturday, so we'll have scattered kind of on or off snow showers Saturday. And then Saturday night into Sunday, some leftover flurries, but Sunday should be improving. Remember that next shot of cold air? That comes with a clipper as well. That will likely bring some snow showers on Monday, although the latest model trends take it a little bit further north. Lake effect would get going. LaPorte County out towards the east, that has more of a northwest trajectory to start next week. But either way, we would have some snowflakes flying around, cold air. And then beyond that, it's kind of fantasy land. But the Euro brings a clipper through. And we mentioned, last couple of days, we've mentioned the fact that we're probably going to start to get into snowstorm season around here. February tends to bring a lot of snowstorms versus these clippers. And we're starting to see kind of the signs of that towards the end of January with perhaps a big storm there. That brings rain in here before Arctic air comes back in. We'll see. That'll change. And then there's some other kind of bigger system that tries to develop here. But notice systems now, there's not a lot of moisture. They're all coming out of Canada. It's just a little fluffy snow. It heads by. Systems later this month, tapping into the Gulf, so you get big areas of low pressure, you get thunderstorms and rain on the south side and heavier snow on the north side. Notice how these have that warm air and Gulf moisture involved. So there's that. How much snow between now and then? I'll show it. Doesn't mean it's accurate. I mean, this goes out into fantasy land, but you can see the bulk of our snow coming over the next couple days. Oh, this is switched to the 18Z. Let me go this one. The bulk of the snow next couple days coming from this lake effect. All right, this is going to be our big one, and then we're kind of laying down, 1-2 inches here, 1-2 inches here, but we keep snow on the ground. That's how much it's sinking through January 29th. It changes, but that's a lot, right? It's a lot north of us. I mean, we have some decent totals here, don't get me wrong, and almost all this is going to stick around. So we're going to have, you're probably not going to see the grass for a while, okay? So that's what we've got. All right, go ahead, throw your questions into chat. In terms of snowfall totals, though, the one question that I tend to get when there's snowfall events like this is how much for my town. I'm showing you right now. Okay, know where you live on a map. This is what I'm thinking. This is the model I agree with the most, all right, where we have not a lot more. These white areas, I would probably add a 1/2 inch to 1 inch because I think we'll see general snow shower activity outside of this. But notice Lake County, Newton County, Jasper County, not a lot. Okay, the snow's going to start to wind down. We'll just have flurries and occasional snow showers. That main mega band, the one right here, that is now just burying Berrien County and then burying areas of South Bend and St. Joe and Marshall counties. That band is the one that's going to put down the snow. That's the one we're going to watch as it shifts west. How far west does it make it? Still in question. I do think LaPorte County is clearly in play. Porter County, you may get brushed by it, where we get heavier snow eastern side of the county. Valpo, you're going to be right in between. Does it get heavy enough for you? Does it stay on the lighter side? Big question. It's going to be a real close call. But underneath this band, 2 to 3 hour snowfall rates, 2 to 3 inches per hour. It's crippling areas by South Bend right now, and it will continue to strengthen, and it will continue to target areas a little bit further west. Okay, so that's what we're thinking in terms of snowfall totals right here, where underneath that band, wherever it settles, if it settles in LaPorte County, a foot plus is easy. If it settles just east, then LaPorte County would be divided. You guys understand what I'm saying. Wherever that band settles, we'll get a foot plus, easy. Okay, it's going to stick around. So there's that. All right, so be careful as you're out traveling. If you have to travel out east tonight, if you have to travel anywhere, really, it's kind of crunchy and it's icy. We've got snow, especially the side roads. The wind is blowing it around. It's just not pretty tonight, but it's not going to get any better, especially out east overnight tonight. So there's that, okay? Let's see. Chris says, Northwest Indiana is like the Addams Family house, stormy like crazy on us, sunshine on either side. It's crazy. Lake effect's nuts. Let me show you just real quick. Let me just zoom out and show you kind of what the system looks like across the Great Lakes. Well, it hasn't really started yet. So out towards Ohio and Pennsylvania, this is the low pressure. So we're not seeing it yet. I mean, it's just crazy. Look at this band. This band, we're not just getting snow here off Lake Michigan. I want to make that clear meteorologically. We're getting snow from Lake Superior too. So you get this initial band of snow that's heavy coming off Lake Superior near Marquette. That moisture doesn't just end. That moisture travels in the air. It starts to get picked up once again over northern Lake Michigan. So we have this moisture combines with Lake Michigan moisture. And look at that fetch. It's coming off Lake Superior. You draw a straight line all the way down the length of Lake Michigan, right into areas of central and northern Indiana. Just incredible. I mean, no wonder that band is so strong in terms of how heavy the snow is. It's picking up moisture hundreds of miles to the north from Lake Superior. And oftentimes we'll get that fetch. The other fetch or wind direction that we get with a lot of snow here in northwest Indiana is when we get kind of a northeast wind that picks up snow the length of Lake Michigan this way, and it drives it. That's the one that brings heavy snow that did earlier this season into Lake County. Remember, we got buried, Lake and Porter County, to start the season. That was because we had a northeasterly wind that brought a snow band there. That band and that wind direction will also hit Chicago. But this one, yeah, it's going straight up and down. And so again, as we kind of look to the northern lakes, you can see there's a little bit more of a north-south trajectory here. That's going to take shape over our lake as well. So this will bring this into LaPorte County. Porter County, we'll see. Again, I'm not expecting a ton of snow western side of the county. Eastern side of the county, that's my biggest question right now. But real interesting in terms of just how this works out in terms of the snow. So we'll go back to our local shot here of the snowfall. All right, Lisa's glad she is retired. There's that. You earned it. Trust me, you earned it. Jim, hi. Yeah, so we're doing Northwest Indiana right now, but for the Cleveland area, we're going to get some good snow tonight as well, Jim. I'm telling you, we've got this. The reason why it's snowing so heavy in Ohio right now is because we've got a low pressure to deal with. So we've got moisture already that exists. We haven't really tapped into lake effect yet, but I could see some 4 to 8 inch totals for you in northwestern Cuyahoga County. I don't think we're going to have a lot of school tomorrow. I think it's going to be pretty tricky getting to work tomorrow morning for sure. Chris, it is. You know, now temperatures for huge snow totals. Yes, you're absolutely right. That's a great question. So Chris asked, does really, really cold air reduce the amount of moisture? Yes, the warmer the air, the more moisture it holds. So we tend to get some of our biggest snows when we have temperatures in the upper 20s and low 30s, okay? Those are the sweet spots in terms of temps because you have a maximum amount of available moisture in the atmosphere, and you tend to get some of the bigger flakes, some of the big fluffy flakes, right? 20s are great for snow production. A lot of it depends on a layer in the atmosphere called the dendritic growth zone, which is, I'm not going to get too technical with you, but there's an area in the atmosphere that if it has enough moisture and the temperatures are correct, we can produce real good snow, like real efficient snow. And that's where we're at right now. We've got a really good growth zone up in the clouds right now. There are times when that is lacking and you can't nucleize the snow crystals. And so you get real fine powdery snow. It doesn't really turn into snowflakes. Sometimes you'll have that and it turns to freezing drizzle because we just can't produce a snowflake. So it's real interesting. There's a lot more to snow than just looking at a radar or a futurecast and saying, hey, we're going to get this much snow today. I mean, we're predicting ratios as well. We have to predict how fluffy that snow is because fluffy snow adds up. You get huge totals. If it's really, really cold, you get the real tiny crystals that don't add up to a whole much, but they're real powdery. We've gotten that some of the events where we've had like temperatures near 0 or -5 and we get snow. It's a real powdery stuff that doesn't add up at all, but it causes problems. It's Snow is just so fascinating, and I hope you're fascinated by it too. I hope I'm not boring you by talking about it, but it's just so different. And so our snow type has changed even this evening, between the wetter snow we had initially to now it's becoming more of a drier snow that blows around a lot easier because our temperatures are coming down. So yeah, a lot of it depends on the system itself. But yes, temperatures do play a role. We tend to get some of our real heavy, big snow events with heavy wet snow, which is when we're closer upper 20s, low 30s. But really efficient snow production right now. I'm not too worried about that. Rhonda, there's going to be plenty enough to make a snowman. However, it's not going to be the best packing snow come tomorrow morning. It's going to be more of something you can brush off, but there's going to be a lot to brush off as we, head out to our cars tomorrow morning. Jacob, it depends on where you're traveling. Yeah, it really does. If you're traveling across Lake County, Newton, Jasper, even Porter County, tonight's probably your best night. Or I'm sorry, tomorrow's probably going to be better. All right, because we'll see improvement in those areas tonight. Porter County is real tricky because, again, this band is going to start to brush Porter County overnight into tomorrow morning. All likelihood is that happens. And so it's going to be real nasty the more snow that piles up LaPorte County. So I wouldn't travel at all tonight out in LaPorte County or St. Joseph or Berrien County in Michigan. I just wouldn't do it. It's just going to continue to go downhill. And, if the plows can't get out there and they get stuck or you get stuck and you're in their way, it's just a mess. I mean, we've seen this play out before. So I don't think it's good either tonight or tomorrow in LaPorte County out towards the east. Porter County, if you're a good winter weather driver, you can do it. But tomorrow, again, it's going to get worse as you head further east through the county. So great question on that for sure. Terry says, husband out in South Bend right now for work. Weather's not good. I'm hoping it makes it back. Oh, man. Yeah, I hope so, Terry. Yeah, South Bend's a mess right now. I mean, thankfully, this just started. That's what's helping it. Notice how this band just moved in over the last couple hours, but they're locked in right now. I mean, there is such heavy snow falling in St. Joseph County right now. It's not good. So things are really going downhill in a hurry. So hopefully hopefully he gets home tonight. Christopher, thank you for that. I appreciate that. We do our best. I do appreciate that. Carrie, Thursday morning, it just depends on where you are. Again, I think it's going to be real rough. Eastern Porter in the LaPorte and Stark County as well. I keep leaving Stark County out. Stark, you're going to get nailed from this, especially as it heads west. It's going to be real messy there. So there's that. Let's see. Andrew says, if Westville gets 15 inches, you have to shave your head. Deal. Andrew, if I didn't do TV, then sure. Yeah, if I just did social online meteorology, I'd be happy with that. I would gladly shave my head. Not for 15 in Westville, though, because I think Westville has a good chance of getting 15 inches. I would say if Valpo gets 15, then I would shave my head. So there's that. Yeah, Donna, very interesting. Yep. Just learned this year that every snowflake's six-sided. Yeah, but they're all different, which is crazy. And I don't believe that they're all different because there are so many trillions of snowflakes falling just in the system alone. There's got to be two are the same, but it's just really tough to find them. I don't know how you're going to do that. DK, what about traveling to Gurnee Tuesday to Thursday next week? You should be okay. There's going to be some snowfall. It's going to be really cold. There's going to be some snow with those clippers, DK. But overall, I don't see anything like what we're dealing with right now out east. Yeah, Maxwell, I covered that in one of our Matt's Morning Minutes in the morning. I had a nice map of that. You're right. There's a huge ridge that's off the west coast. So the air goes up into Alaska. And what goes up must come down. And so that's allowed this big bowl or trough to form in the eastern half of the U.S., which allows that cold air in. And that pattern sticks around. So kind of interesting how that's happening. Dan, yeah, that's interesting. Majority misses Lake, kind of ironic given the name. You're right. Lake Effect doesn't hit Lake County. It's really tough to get snow into Lake County recently. I feel like we haven't had any big events outside of the one earlier this winter. So there's that. Laura, great question. What is the confidence this will settle over LaPorte County? I'm fairly confident in the fact it'll settle over LaPorte County. However, I'm not too sure it's going to settle. I don't know how far west it's going to go. All right. I do believe it has a westward jog. So if you're in eastern LaPorte County or central LaPorte County, I'm pretty confident you're going to get some real good snow tonight. If you're in western LaPorte County, though, getting into Porter County, I'm not so sure. And the reason why I don't see that jog quite yet. It's pretty much north and south right now. In looking upstream, there's not too much of a jog west. The models tend to not get it, right? It's kind of a nowcasting thing. But I do see this settling into LaPorte County as we go through the night. But how far west it makes it, that's where my confidence goes down. And I mentioned that earlier. This area right here where I'm circling with my mouse, okay, eastern and central Porter County and western LaPorte County, those are the areas that I'm not quite sure how far west that band makes it. I just can't call it at this point. And the models have everything. Look at what the models are doing this far out, okay? Here's the HER, which says 30 to 40 inches, okay? Here's the NAM Nest, which doesn't even have it getting into LaPorte County, okay? So that's why I kind of hesitate to say it's going to make it into the western half of the county. The NAM Nest keeps most of it east with just lighter amounts. So it's up in the air, literally, but I do think this settles into LaPorte County, center and eastern half of the county, at least by morning, okay? You're welcome. Yeah, Russ calling out the 24 to 36 inches. There's that. Amy, it was. This morning's squall was forecasted. If you go back, you look, and I've got proof. I've got proof in the pudding for it. That I said there's going to be a burst of snow with this Arctic front, that this Arctic front was going to arrive. I think it was the last 2 days we've called for that. Arctic fronts always arrive with a burst of snow, and we tend to get that squall out of it. And so it was forecasted. I don't know, maybe you're watching someone else that didn't forecast it. I'm not sure, but we called that burst of snow this morning that put down that coating. So I don't know where the miscommunication was there, but we do have proof. Go back and watch the last 2 days, at least on our end, okay? And again, we get things wrong a lot of the time, but that burst of snow this morning was expected. Angie said, concerned about travel Friday morning from Crown Point. Angie, you'll be fine Friday morning. You really will be. That snow coming in Friday isn't nearly as heavy. 1 to 2, maybe 3 inches out of it. That's not going to be a big deal. Might have slower travel with that. The big story is going to be the cleanup, but not necessarily for Crown Point. I think you'll be okay for that for sure. Russ is ready for spring. Amy, I got it. I got you on that. And it's okay. So, again, sometimes we get it wrong, and that's fine. And I'll tell you why I got it wrong. I always like to study why if I missed something. But yeah, these apps, man, these apps just take the model data. So these apps take this stuff right here, okay, like these totals, and they'll take what the futurecast is, okay, so like this right here. There's no human behind it other than making sure it's still running. They'll take whatever the model says, and they'll put that into the forecast. They'll take these model numbers, okay, for example. These are model outputs that change 4, even sometimes 12 times a day. They'll take these numbers and they put it in an app, and then it changes like that, and there's no human to talk to about it. It just changes. Well, our job as meteorologists, at least my job, the way I view it, is to take all this data that comes out 12, 24 times a day, take it and put out numbers that don't change, all right? That's why in my 10-day forecasts on the TV side of things, I take notes and I make sure my numbers don't change more than a degree or 2. Unless there's a huge change, they shouldn't. So my day 8, 9, and 10 shouldn't change as it continues to go throughout the forecast. And that comes from obviously experience, but just knowing what you got wrong in the past. And so as a result, the apps are flip-flopping numbers all the time. In my 10-day forecast, I don't like the flop numbers at all. I want it to be right day 8, all right? And I want that number to translate. And so it doesn't always happen, but your apps, again, are changing all the time. They don't pick up on these squalls and these little micro things in terms of the lake effect. It's a mess, so there's still some room for improvement there. And it's job security, so there's that. Yeah, Adrian, so your burst came this morning, and then, yes, that snow that lingered afterwards was lake effect. That caught me by surprise for Lake County this morning because that band developed right away, and it kind of lingered for a while before it backed off. So, yes, in terms of forecasting, that burst of snow went through with the front, but then that lake effect followed right behind it. And it was localized, but, yes, that caught me by surprise this morning. And that lasted about 3 hours, a little bit longer than I thought. So there's that. That's great. Hi, Christine. Saw this immediately, thought it was you. All right. Carrie's asking about Chesterton. Yeah, you're going to be on the fringe there. A couple snow showers here next couple hours. Should back off. And then, Carrie, we're going to watch that total come in. All right. So what we're dealing with here the rest of the evening, again, we're going to watch that band. I think it'll shift west a little bit. LaPorte County, you should get some good snow out of this, especially the further east that you are. Porter County are on that line. It's that undecided zone. How far west does this band make it? The rest of us, the snow should continue in terms of like light snow showers and periodic snow showers, but I don't think we're dealing with anything crazy heavy. Lake County down towards Newton, Jasper County. Stark LaPorte County, you will get the most. Where this band persists, we'll see well over a foot by tomorrow midday. All right, tomorrow morning is going to be a mess as well. Porter County, you're going to range anywhere from a couple inches west side to maybe a foot if this band gets in there. All right, we got to watch where this goes. Okay, I'll be on it tomorrow morning. I'm going to be up bright and early doing this, so we'll keep you updated on that. But guys, please be safe if you're heading out. I do see a snow day for a lot of folks tomorrow out in LaPorte County, maybe Porter County and Stark County as well. Okay, so enjoy that. All right, thanks for joining me here tonight. We'll keep you updated here on regionweather.com and right here on Region Weather on our Facebook and YouTube channels. All right, thanks.